including Keith.
And you may have realized already there's going to be a good deal of name dropping in this show, okay? So here we go. Here's another one. George Harrison once told me that he was riding his bicycle through the outskirts of Liverpool, and it must have been a nice day because there was an open window. And through the window he could hear a record. And the sound was so astonishing to him, so completely got to him in such an amazing way, that he felt he had to get off his bicycle and stand under the window and wait until the song had finished, the record had finished. And that record was Heartbreak Hotel. And that kicked the doors down. That is, we all got off our bicycles, so to speak. And by the way, that is my 78 RPM copy of, oh yes, let's have a round.
Woo! Right.
78 mono, oh yes. And to show you just how hip the British were at this point, if you could just about read it, it says, sung by Elvis Presley, with rhythm accompaniment.
I like that phrase.
Yeah.
We should put that on all our records.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But yes, it changed all of our lives when we heard that. And Heartbreak Hotel was the first Elvis record we ever heard, because that was the one on RCA Records, which was the first time he'd been on a giant worldwide record label. The previous stuff on Sun Records only came out in America, and we caught up with that later on. And that, in the case of my singing partner Gordon, only increased the huge admiration and reverence that he had for Elvis for the rest of his life.
And you covered an Elvis record. That's a pretty brave thing to do.
Well, we did, because Gordon loved the song, and because it was an Elvis song. And so we tried to figure out an Elvis song that we could sing, and this was the one we chose. We thought if we gave it a slightly slinkier, folkier sort of groove, maybe we could get away with it. So we're going to do that version of this song for you now. So here's our tribute to Elvis. I just have to find the right slinky tone.
Just one other thing.
Yeah.
There might be a part for the audience in this.
Oh yes, right? This is true. There is a part, but it's kind of a secret part. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I will transmit it to you telepathically. Trust me, this will work. It does work. You'll be surprised. Here we go. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh well, bless my soul, what's so wrong with me? I'm itchy like a man on a fuzzy tree. My friends say I'm acting wild as a bud. I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Yeah. Oh well, my hands are shaking and my knees are weak. I can't seem to stand on my own 2 feet. Who do you think of when you have such luck? I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Yeah. Oh well, please don't ask me what's on my mind. I'm a little mixed up, but I'm feeling fine. When I see that girl that I love best, my heart beats so it scares me to death. Oh well, she's touching my hand, oh won't you like her? Her lips are like a volcano, it's hot. I'm proud to say that she's my buttercup. I'm in love. I'm all shook up. it scares me to death. Oh, as she touches my hand, oh, what a chill I got. Her lips are like a volcano that's hot. I'm proud to say that she's my buttercup. I'm in love. I'm all shook up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody please, here we go.
Yay, yay.
I'm all shook up. Really?
Woo!
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the very wonderful Jeff Allen.
Yeah.
Now, the one change that we sometimes added to the American music we fell in love with so much was the idea of adding a bit of musical to it. What? Technical hitch of some kind. But because we love musical music. Musical is kind of like usually a bit of a dirty joke set to music, you know what I mean? It's full of double entendres and stuff like that. Now, in some cases, there were indeed artists who would actually record genuine old musical songs. If you recall, like Herman's Hermits, they did Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter, and things like that, you know, making fun of the whole medium in a sense. In our case, it was more that we got sent a song that was deliberately in that musical mode, sort of vaudeville, you would call it, you know. And in this case, it was a song written by a very good songwriter called Mike Leander, and he'd sent our producer this song called Lady Godiva, you may possibly remember, that he thought would be right for us. And I must admit, I was very scornful. I kind of went, oh no, if we do this song, it puts us like in the novelty music category, you know, where it'd be like comedy artists. And we've done made some pretty good records, I thought this might be a step downhill. But it was Gordon, to his credit, who said, don't be so snooty, don't be so silly, it's quite catchy, it might be a hit song. And actually, he was right, it was a hit. It turned into a pretty big hit. So we're going to do it for you now, and to do it in as musical a fashion as we can manage, I'm going to make two suggestions. In the first case, I'm going to play it on the banjolele. Great, you have a banjolele. That's quite unusual, thank you. We appreciate that. You know, the banjolele is the sort of bastard offspring between a banjo and a uke. You know, it's one of those things.
I played the ukulele. I did. I learned to play the ukulele because I hope the teaching methods are a bit better now than they were in the 1950s. I was learning piano, and the guy who was teaching me piano used to stand behind me, and every time I played a bum note, he'd hit me. It's very discouraging. And there was a special place in hell reserved for this man. And so I gave up the piano and I took up the ukulele, and nobody hit me, and it was wonderful. Nice, simple instrument. Oh, there I am, yes. That's it. I'm entertaining, if that is the word, my brother Jonathan. And, we have a little piece of film, even, of me. Well, it wasn't quite as good as that. All right, you're on.
Anyway, the other change I'd like to make, or the suggestion I'd like to make, is to see if we can make this a bit of a sing-along. You've already proved what a great choir you could be with your expert grunting on All Shook Up, which was really good. But in this case, I don't necessarily expect you to remember all the lyrics to the song Lady Godiva from beginning to end. I sometimes have difficulty in that regard myself. But what I would really like is that when we get to the actual recitation of her lady's title, so that actually, you know, the lyric gets to the point where it goes, Lady Godiva, I would like you to join in and yell, shout, whatever, the words Lady Godiva to go along with the song. And gentlemen, you may find that you can manage to do so with a little extra oomph once you think profoundly about what the song is actually about, which is, of course, a naked woman bareback on a horse. So here is Lady Godiva. Please sing along. 1, 2, 3, 4. my admiration for songwriters in general. We've written songs by a lot of different writers, as I mentioned. Paul McCartney wrote a couple for us, and that one was Mike Leander and so on. Different people at different times. And sometimes we just found songs that were looking for a home. And one example of that was this song called I Go to Pieces that we're going to do next. Some of you may remember it, but people forget, and it's amazing to me still because it doesn't sound his style, but it was written by somebody who I think of very much as a rock god in their own right, because the song was written by the great Del Shannon.
Wow.
And we all know that he wrote great songs because we love Runaways, one of the best rock and roll records ever made. Exactly. A great lick, you know. It's one of those things where one bar and you know which song it is. You know? So we met Del Shannon because we toured with him in Australia. It was a tour that featured ourselves, Del Shannon, and another English band called The Searchers. And it turned out that Del had this song, I Go to Pieces. This is a picture I took of Del myself in the hotel lobby in Sydney, I think. But what happened was, I found out later that he played the song to a couple of artists in the US before he went on this Australian tour, and nobody grabbed it. And then, while we were in Australia, he actually thought that The Searchers should do a version of it. He was trying to find somebody who could make it a hit. And they, to my surprise, when he played them the song, I thought it was great, and they politely declined. Said, thank you so much, Mr. Shannon, but you know, it was not right for us, or whatever excuse they used. But I heard it, overheard it, and thought it was great. And so I said to Del, would you mind if Gordon and I learned that and had a go at it? And he said, no, great. So he taught it to us. I don't think there was an actual demo, I think he was just singing it. Taught us the song, we learned it, wrote down the words and so on, and worked on it out on the road in Australia, and loved it. I thought it was really cool. So I said to him, please don't give it to anybody else. Please put a hold on it, as they say in publishing. We're going to do it as soon as we get back to London. And that's what we did. As soon as we got back, we went to Abbey Road Studios, we recorded I Go to Pieces, and it was one of our biggest hits. And it actually is, I think, to be honest, my favorite Peter and Gordon single. There's other songs we did that may be more significant in what they did for our career. But I Go to Pieces was really cool, and I liked the way the record came out. You know, the way the horns and strings and stuff worked. And I was excited about that. To be honest, I'll tell you that if I'm driving down Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu, where I live, and listening to the 60s station, if I Go to Pieces happens to come on, that is one of those occasions where I'll reach down, crank the radio up full, and go, oh, it's me!
I've got to tell you something. It is not given to everybody, but it is one of the most wonderful feelings when you first hear yourself coming through the radio. I cannot tell you. And actually after that, doesn't happen so much anymore, but there we are.
It makes it all more exciting than it does. Anyway. So here's Del Shannon's masterpiece, in my view, a terrific piece of pop songwriting, I Go to Pieces. When I see her coming down the street, I get so shaky and I feel so weak. I tell my eyes look the other way, but they don't hear to hear a word I say. I go to pieces and I wanna hide. Go to pieces and I almost die every time my baby passes by. I tell my arms there's no someone new, another love that will be true. But they don't listen, they don't seem to care. I reach for her, but she's not there. And I go to pieces and I wanna hide. Go to pieces and I almost die every time my baby passes by. I remember what she said when she said goodbye, baby. We'll meet again soon, baby. But until we do, all my best to you. I'm so lonely, think about her lonely. Go to places we used to go, but I know she'll never show.
There was another influence in the late 50s and early 60s in England that never really came over here, I don't think. It was something called skiffle. And skiffle will think jug band, basically. And what it was you would get a bunch of guys with acoustic guitars all strumming madly away, and you'd take an old blues song or a folk song or something like that, and you'd speed it up rather. And it was absolutely huge. I mean, how many bands were there, Peter?
Yeah, there's a book about it. Billy Bragg wrote a book about it, and he estimated that at its peak there were 50,000 active and working skiffle groups in England at the time. And I must admit, that first sounded incredible to me, but then I thought about it and realized we had a skiffle group, you had a skiffle group, the Beatles had a skiffle group, just about everyone I knew at school had a skiffle group. Yeah. So it's not really surprising, it's probably a genuine number, and it's amazing.
Yeah. So think of that. 50,000 bands all playing badly. Anyway, Chad and I had found this song, which was this next song, which was done by now a completely obscure skiffle group called the Vipers, and we thought that we'd rather like this song. And then in 1999, we thought we were the only people who knew this. In 1999, Paul McCartney put out a terrific rock and roll album called Run Devil Run, check it out, and there was his version of the same song. You see, the whole generation all listening to the same music, you see, except we did it first, and we did it on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Come on, boys, do a baby. 1, 2, 3, 4. It usually comes in about 13. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Here he comes. 12, 13. See?
I don't want no other baby but you. I don't want no other baby but you.
'Cause no other baby thrills me like you do. Lots of other women say, be my daddy do. Lots of other women say, be my daddy do. But I don't want no other baby but you.
There's a pretty woman who lives right across the hall. A really pretty woman who lives right across the hall. And every time I see her, she says, baby, give me a call. But I don't, because I don't want no other baby but you. I don't want no other baby but you.
'Cause no other baby thrills me like you do. 'Cause no other baby thrills me like you do. So there we were, staying in New Rochelle with the Petrys. And it was such fun. I mean, you know, sometimes in show business, the people who are so funny and charming and everything aren't off stage quite as funny and charming, but these guys were. They were just wonderful. It was such fun. And a lovely sort of family feeling. And they do these shows in a 5-day slot. So what you do is on Monday morning, read through, and then intense rehearsal on the Friday, dress rehearsal, then bring in the audience, shoot it, everyone has a weekend off. And in the rehearsal period, everybody was chucking in ideas. Wouldn't it be better if I did it this way, you know? Is that funny? And I was used to this kind of thing because I'd been an actor already and I've done 3 years of drama school. And so I came up with this ridiculous gag. I didn't think it was very funny or anything, but Dick said, oh, that's great. We're going to keep that in. So here is Jeremy's joke.
Well, come on into the living room, make yourself comfortable.
Oh, isn't this lovely? Hey.
Thank you.
That's nice. Do you know what we call one of these in England? No, what? A chair.
Wow.
Please, no applause. Honestly, I mean, really, but you know something? This ridiculous gag has had a real sort of afterlife. I mean, about 15 years ago, Chad and I were checking in at an airport. The guy looks at us and he looks at the guitar cases and he goes, "A chair." If you sing softly and if you become known for doing sort of romantic, soft songs, you know, I mean, Chad and I would have loved to have been blues shouters or something, but it wasn't given to us. And once the label have a hit with something that's soft and romantic, then what they want is you to keep on repeating the formula. Yes, keep them coming. And they would actually say things to us like, "Oh, you see, you should be doing nice old songs. Songs your mother would like. Songs your grandmother would like. And then you won't be like those nasty Rolling Stones." And so they made us look through, they wanted us to look through a lot of very old songs, old standards. And to talk about old, we came across this one, and it was written in 1932. And it did rather well for us. And here it is. 1, 2, 3, Willow, weep for me. Willow, weep for me. Bend your branches green along the stream that runs to sea. Listen to my plea. Listen, willow, and weep for me. Gone my lover's dream, lovely summer's dream. Gone and left me here to weep my tears into the stream. Sad as I can be, hear me, willow, and weep for me. Whisper to the wind and say the lover's sin. Leave my heart a-breaking and making alone. Murmur to the night to hide a starry light, so none will find me sighing and crying all alone. Weeping willow tree, weeping sympathy. Bend your branches down along the ground and cover me. When the shadows fall, bend, oh willow, and weep for me.
That is a terrific song, and I think the first time I really got to know it, though I knew it was an old song vaguely, but was when the Chad and Jeremy version was on the radio, because in LA they played it incessantly, which was great. And it is a wonderful song. And you told me it was what year again?
1932.
Which is really quite old. And it was a woman called Anne Ronell, apparently. So I looked it up to add to my favorite songwriter list. And you said you met her at one point?
Yes, I was doing a play on Broadway in 1970 and she came round and it was a great honour to meet, one of the generation of the great American songwriters, And she came round and she thanked me for the money and I thanked her.
Yeah, I was curious about her other achievements and I looked her up and it is interesting actually because she had two big hits, really. Two big songs that a lot of people did. But in neither case were they written or were they hits by a solo artist. Because their big hits were Willow Weep for Me, that was the biggest by Chad and Jeremy, that duet version was the most successful. And the other key song she wrote that was a huge hit was by a very distinguished trio. Because the other song she wrote was Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf, performed, of course, by the Three Little Piggies. So I wanted to emphasize to Jeremy what incredibly good custom, he's in. It's a big list to be on, It's a lot to live up to. Now we're going to do the last song in the first set for you now. So after this song, we're going to take a 15-minute intermission. And I have to be careful about this song. It's one that Paul McCartney wrote for us during the course of our career. But the title could be slightly confusing. If I sang it directly at you, you might not come back for the second half. I know this sounds confusing, but you'll understand when I tell you. This song is called I Don't Want to See You Again. I hear that love is blind. How can I understand when someone says to me, I don't want to see you again? Why do I cry at night? Something wrong could be right. I hear you say to me, I don't want to see you again. As you turn your back on me, you hit the light of day. I didn't have to play and be broken hearted. I know that later on, after love's been and gone, I'll still hear someone say, I don't